Welcome back to Gaming News and Breakdowns, and today we have Iron Banner news. Now, it's been 24 hours at the time of this video's release. It's been 24 hours after Iron Banner has released for Destiny 2, and yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts, give some thoughts about the community, or more so, I guess, what the community thought so far about it, and yeah, just give some basic news about the event and what's important to know. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Um, First off, the Iron Banner has not been back since um, the last expansion. I believe the last one was during the events of Rite of the Nine. I could be wrong on that. It might have been before that. But before Edge of Fate came out, Bungie came out saying that the Iron Banner would not be returning until the Ashen Iron update. So we have not had it for a few months now. It's been since like before July, um, since we've had Iron Banner back. So it's good to finally have it back. Um, and yeah, this time it's a little different. Instead of its traditional ranking up system with like the vendor system, we have a new system that's been in the game for quite a while since Edge of Fate came out called events, and Iron Banner has come back as an event. So it has its own event homepage. It has its own reward track, almost like a mini battle pass that you can unlock different things for the week. And today, for the first time ever, a Iron Banner tiered weapon has dropped. Um, I am blanking on the name of it right now. I'll put it up on screen, but it's a hand cannon, and the reviews on this seem pretty mixed. If I'm going to be honest, the hand cannon is either one that you really like or you don't want to touch. At least in the past, it is an old weapon that they reprised and have brought back with the new systems, new perks, all that stuff. And I myself haven't tried it, but I just know that there are mixed reviews. So take that as you will. Thankfully, that is not the only weapon that we can earn during the event. You can also earn. Uh, I'm so bad. I don't remember any of these names, but um, you can earn the shotgun pistol or shotgun hand cannon, I should say, from this event as well with a new hollow foil. So something new that they're doing is um, with the hollow foils. I'm assuming you can use or you can get a drop of different guns with different hollow foil or same guns with different hollow foils. This gun has dropped before and it had a hollow foil specifically for the Arms Week event. However, now during the Iron Banner event, it has a different hollow foil, um, which in my opinion is really cool. Now that we know that this is the system they're going with concerning the holofoils, you can actually tell what event guns dropped from, uh, or I guess what time frame they dropped from based on their holofoils, and also it just gives them a little more like personality, you know, like the I personally wasn't a fan of the Arms Week holofoil, but you know, this one I like it more than that one, so I'm more inclined to farm the guns in this event rather than Arms Week, you know. So just a little something extra. But other than that, there's as I mentioned before, there's a shotgun hand cannon, and then the trace rifle that's Strand. That one is also releasing again with this event, and it also has the new holofoil. All right, guys, this is future me here. Um, I was editing and trying to find photos of the holofoils, and I couldn't get one of just the holofoils themselves. However, I did get one of each gun with their holofoils, but also I'm assuming the second guns in the photos are the holofoils for the Festival of the Lost. When I was looking for these photos, I found other weapons that also had this holofoil. Some of them have been released in events, and other ones are specifically for the Festival of the Lost uh, event. So um, as you can see, I believe my theory to be correct about us getting different holofoils on the same guns to let you know when you got it from which event. Yeah, so um, this is exciting. And yeah, anyway, back to past me. On top of that, there is the crossbow. Now, this has, I've seen a lot of confusion on this about like whether it drops or if it only drops from the reclaim activity. Bungie said in their stream, their live stream, they said that the stasis crossbow that released with Ash and Iron will only be available through events during Ash and Iron. So what that means is that anytime there's an event active, whenever you play an activity that's tied to that event, you have a small chance for it to drop. So right now, if you play Reclaim, you do not have a chance of the crossbow dropping because the event is based on Iron Banner. So if you're trying to farm the crossbow, which I know a lot of people are, it's a very low drop rate, so not everyone has God rolls yet. But if you are farming the crossbow and you're doing the reclaim missions and you're having no luck, the reason why is because you can't get it from reclaim anymore. You can only get it from whatever event is currently happening. So in this case, it's Iron Banner. So just an FYI. Um, but yeah, concerning Iron Banner itself, as I mentioned before, there's only one new weapon. I know a lot of people were disappointed by this, especially since it is the weapon that um, a lot of people have mixed feelings about. Um, I know a lot of people wanted, different weapons to come back if they were going to reprise it, but this is the first Iron Banner since, well, for a while. So um, we'll we'll have a few more Iron Banners down the line in order to get new guns, hopefully. Um, so moving on to what has changed. As mentioned before, the Iron Banner is now a event in the portal, and with that you get the event pass and all that stuff. Um, but the event itself, there are two modes. One of the modes is control, as usual. The other mode is eruption. So those modes, from a gameplay perspective, stay the same. There's no real changes there. Um, Most of the change, however, is in the new loot that you get. Now, I said before, there's only one new Iron Banner weapon. However, there is a new armor set, and this armor set has caused quite a bit of controversy. Basically, Bungie had designed a new armor set for the Iron Banner. They realized that it was very cool looking and that a lot of people would like it. So, what they decided to do is take the idea, modify it a little bit, put it in the Eververse store, which requires you to pay money in order to get. And they took an old design from the Iron Banner from years before. I believe it was a year one D2 um, armor set. I could be wrong though. Um, but they took it. Basically, they took an old armor set, changed up the colors a bit, and threw it into Iron Banner and said, "Look, this is the new armor that you're getting. Um, have fun with it." Which not a lot of people liked that. They didn't like the new or they didn't like that the armor had been reprised. However, not a lot of people thought too much of it because it's not the first time Bungie's done that. They've taken old armor, put new paint on it, and then shipped it out multiple times before. That's not unusual for armor, weapons, anything really. It's very common for Bungie to do that. However, the community noticed that in the concept art for one of the armor sets in the Eververse store, it was actually Iron Banner themed, and they realized that Bungie was trying to make more money off of the armor set rather than give players a cool armor set in order to go and chase. Um, they put a paywall behind it. So the community found out about it, um, complained, made an uproar, which is totally justified because why is Bungie trying to make a little bit extra money? Uh, you know, no one. The game is in a terrible state right now, and um, I think that just says a lot about Bungie. But um, I digress. Um, Regardless, Bungie, in an attempt to apologize, has taken another set that was scheduled to be, I believe they said it was scheduled to be a Eververse set, but they took another set that was medieval themed and put it in, they replaced the armor designs, and they were like, look, we know we messed up, we're sorry, we realize we messed up. We are going to change the armor back to a different armor set. That way, you guys get a new armor set. And, we originally planned for it to be in the Eververse store. However, now we're going to give it to you guys for free through Iron Banner, which personally, I really like the armor. The only downside, I think, is the Warlock's helmet. Um, it's I'm not really a big fan of helmets like looking like faces. Um, so the armor for the warlock, I'm not at least the helmet I'm not too big of a fan of, but everything else I think the armor set looks nice. It's definitely not as crazy as the gladiator armor that was originally supposed to be um, the armor set. However, Um, you know, I I was at least pleased that Bungie had made a switch and got us a new armor set um, for the Iron Banner event. So um, yeah, and honestly, they should have made a new armor to begin with because this was the first Iron Banner since like months. It was Iron Banner's first time being an event. You would think that they would want to celebrate that, and instead they just tried to make a few extra bucks. So um, yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad that they changed it back. I think it was um, not really a good thing that it happened in the first place, but whatever. They switched it back, um, and yeah, hopefully they don't make any more mistakes like that in the future. But anyway, um, moving on to the armor passives. Now, this is the first Iron Banner that has come out where we have armor passives, and with that, we have the new armor with new armor passives. So, for equipping 2 pieces of the Iron Beryllium set, you get the armor set bonus Vigilant Watch. As your health gets lower, your weapons gain increased stability and handling. Weapon final blows while your shields are depleted heal you. And for having 4 pieces of the set, you get the armor set bonus Iron Conviction. When your shields become broken, you gain increased ammo generation, flinch resistance, and damage resistance against nearby combatants for a short time. Final blows extend this effect. Now, I'm not 100% sure if the final blows extend the effect after um, your health goes up. If that is the case, then that's pretty good because you get some bonus damage resistance as well as ammo generation, flinch resistance, stuff like that. Um, if you have 4 pieces, you're also getting Vigilance Watch anyway. So if your shields break, then your weapons are also healing you at that point. So it seems like this armor set is based on, you know, having your armor break, and then when you're in those dire situations in the red health, um, you can clutch up. Um, you have some bonus health, damage resistance. You have a few things that'll help keep you alive in those stressful situations. It seems to be more of a PvE perk, which is interesting. With the Trials armor, that definitely seems to be more PvP focused with radar and ammo giving you health. However, with this set being a PvP armor set as well, it is interesting to see it take more of a PvE approach rather than a PvP approach. Um, but yeah, so um, all in all, I will say that I am not super impressed with Iron Banner, which pains me to say. I love Iron Banner. Iron Banner, back in the day, my dad and I would play, and Iron Banner would come out, and it would be the only game we play. Um, my friends and I would play it. Um, you know, Anytime Iron Banner came out, it was always super fun, at least for me. I know a lot of people in early D2 and in Destiny 1 thought it was very tedious and grindy, and the fact that you couldn't get out of it sucked. But I have always had a love for Iron Banner. I do like that you can earn different weapons, not just Iron Banner weapons. I do like that you can earn, the event weapons, and that you can get new holofoils on them. I also like the new armor perks with the new Iron Banner um, armor, although that wasn't originally going to be the case, but thankfully they changed it. Um, but even that, that was a last minute change. So originally we were supposed to have a reprised armor set, a new gun, which wasn't even really a new gun because the gun was also reprised, as well as a few extra items in the pass. They did create a holo chip for Iron Banner. However, it is based off a stag, and I know that Iron Banner and Iron Lords have like 3 mascots, right? They have like the stag, the wolf, and the tree. In my opinion, they should have done a holo chip with the wolf. I think that would have gotten a lot more recognition. I haven't heard anyone else talk about the stupid holo chip. Um, if they had done something with a wolf, I think it would have gained a lot more attention. Possibly more people would buy it permanently. I haven't bought any of the other holo foils, however, or not holo foils, sorry, holo chips. But if, the wolf one, if there came out with one with a wolf, I don't even know how they would do it. But, I love Iron Banner so much. I'm sure in the opening of this video, you saw my Guardian is all Iron Banner like armor. And that's not just because it's Iron Banner and putting Iron Banner armor gives you a multiplier. That's like that's what I wear. Like I usually keep Iron Banner armor on all the time because I just like the aesthetic. I like how it looks, and I always say that fashion is the ultimate end game of Destiny. But um, you know, uh, in my opinion, the Iron armor, Iron Banner armor, Iron Lords, all that stuff, that like theme is super cool to me. And if they were going to add a new holo chip, I don't understand why they didn't do something with a wolf. Um, that's just my opinion. I think it would have been way better than the stag. The stag is really cool. Don't get me wrong. Especially as a warlock main. I personally don't use the stag exotic, but I'm sure with the stag exotic, the Stag Lord holo chip looks amazing because you have like the glowing horns. But in my opinion, it could have been better. Um, Moving on, I was excited for Iron Banner because I thought they were going to change fundamental things about the game and add some really cool weapons and really cool armor. And when Iron Banner came back after its month long, not even month, like multiple month long vacation, it would be brand new. You know, personally, I think they should have added a new map with the in the Plaguelands. You know, I think that would have been like honestly, if that's the only new thing we got, like if Bungie was like, hey, you know, Iron Banner's coming back, and you know we have some old armor for you and some old guns for you, and um, you know we didn't really change much, but plot twist, you know, um, we're fighting in the Plaguelands and we're doing Plagueland stuff. You know, here's a map that's centered around the Plaguelands with, you know, obviously we've played Reclaim and we know that Siva is like dead or whatever because, um, you know, you can see like the dead Siva vines there. Or let me rephrase, Siva's not dead. Siva's just inactive, right? That's what they're saying or what's being shown, I guess. Um, but like if that's all they did, like give us one map and that's it. That's still something cool to show as like this new version of Iron Banner, right? I think so many people would have loved that. But instead, all we got were old weapon, not even weapons. We got one new weapon. However, it's not new, it's just reprised. Originally, we were going to get old armor. And the only reason why we didn't get new armor was because the community complained and figured out Bungie's secret. And Bungie was pretty much backed into a corner and had no choice but to give us something. So, yes, we got a new armor set, but originally that wasn't the case. And that's really it. The only new thing is really the way that you get into Iron Banner, which is through the portal, which isn't even an Iron Banner change. It's just a portal change, or a menu change, I guess. So, you know, I don't really understand why Iron Banner couldn't come back. Um, there's nothing really new, and that, you know, makes me sad because they, at least from my point of view, they made it seem like they were going to add a bunch of new stuff, totally revamp the mode, and instead we just get reprised old things, except for the new armor. But like I said, that wasn't even originally going to be a thing. So, do I think it's horrible? No. While I know the portal is very controversial and a lot of people don't like it, while others love it and don't want to go back to the director, um, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing. For one, we have multiple modes now. You know, I don't really play Encore. I love Clash, and I will play, or not Clash, sorry. I love Control. I do love Clash, but Clash isn't a mode you can play as right now. I love Control. I will play Control this entire week. I do not need to step foot in Encore. However, if you are sick and tired of Control, you can go into Iron Banner still and try something different. And that I do like. You know, in previous Iron Banners, you were stuck to one mode, whether that was Clash, Rift, Eruption, Fortress, Tribute, you know. Yes, there are different modes in Iron Banner, but if you didn't like the mode that was currently featured, you were going to be miserable if you played Iron Banner. But, you know, especially when Tinashes came out, you were pretty much forced to play Iron Banner because if you didn't have a God Roll Tinashes, you were throwing in everything. You know, Tinashes was just so good that, you know, PvE players were flocking to Iron Banner in order to play it. but then they'd have to play these weird modes, and it would be just not a fun experience for them, making them not want to play the game. And that is ultimately the point, right? Like, Bungie is wanting players to play their game like every other game studio is, but yet they're not giving enough new things to go and chase, especially with this stupid armor controversy. Um, Thankfully, now we do have armor to chase, and I will be chasing it this week because I want. Obviously, I'm not high level enough to get tier fives and all that stuff. I just got my first tier four in trials yesterday, but um, you know, I I I don't understand why Bungie is afraid to give players what they want. Like, Iron Banner felt so stale, and honestly, Crucible just in general. Like, I rarely play Crucible. I do not. If I do play Crucible, I'll play a few games and then go back to PvE. I love PvP in other games, but Destiny, I've just not been good at it since D2. I In Destiny 1, I strictly played Crucible. I did very few PvE unless I had to. If I had to do PvE to get a new gun or a new um, subclass or whatever, I would, always like play PvE, do the story, do whatever exotic quests were there, and then like go right to PvP again. Like, I was strictly PvP. But like, I haven't really touched PvP in Destiny 2 for a few years. And for me, I would always come back for Iron Banner. That was my thing. I was super excited when they said they were going to take a break because they made it seem like it was going to be revamped. There was going to be new things, and I don't really see anything new. But, that's just my take. Um, so 24 hours in, I am disappointed in in the lack of new things to chase, guns, armor, stuff like that. However, you know, as I mentioned before, it's not all bad things. There are multiple modes, and whether they're going to switch out over the course of the week, I don't know. I think that would be very cool. Like, if you had Clash, or not Clash, Control and Eruption today, and then tomorrow you have Clash and Tribute, and then the next day you have Control and Rift. Like, and then the next day you have Rift and Clash, or not Rift again, but you know what I mean. Like, if you like rotate it, that's cool, and that's the format of the portal. But if I log in tomorrow and I don't see that things are rotated, what else is the difference in the portal? Like, other than there just being two options. So I do think it's cool that there are multiple options that you can choose, even though it's just two. I still think that's pretty cool. That way, if you're getting sick of one, you can do the other while still, um, enjoying the event. Um, I like how the new armor looks, um, and I'm glad that I don't have to pay silver for it. I like that I can play Iron Banner. Bungie should take note of that because players want to play the game to earn cool stuff. I mean, raid armor is so popular because of how cool it looks. But even recently, like raid and dungeon armor, like recently they've been thematic, but I don't really see people using more recent raid armor compared to like Crota's End armor, like the Warlock robes from Crota's End. I see that all the time. And that's because it looks good, especially since they added Strand, because it's a green subclass. So I think that, I remember back in D1, there was an armor set. I don't remember what it looks like for the Warlock. I'm a Warlock main, I know, but I strictly remember the Titan set because my dad would wear it. He was a Titan, and it was a chest plate with fire coming from within the chest plate. and I do believe it was from Iron Banner. If it's not, feel free to let me know in the comments. But you know, even if it's not from Iron Banner, that's still Iron Banner themed, and it's like that would be sick to have in Destiny 2. They can do better. They haven't been. Um, I just want to see them do better. I want to play the game to earn cool stuff. Is this a step in the right direction? I guess. We did get a new armor set after complaining. So, yeah, I'm happy that I get to go chase this armor set. But originally, that wasn't even going to be the case. Um, I don't want to beat around the same bushes like over and over again, but that's just my take on it. I do think you should play Iron Banner. Um, there is, if you don't have um, the spread shot hand cannon that's solar, this is a good source for it, especially since you can get a brand new hollow foil with it. And also, if you're trying to get the crossbow, this is your only chance for the next week in order to get it, is you have to play PvP. So if you're going for the crossbow like me, or if you're trying to get a good roll of the spread shot hand cannon like me, yeah, definitely hop into Iron Banner. You can get good PvE armor from it as well. That looks good. Um, and yeah, I personally think um, it's okay. The event is okay. I know that a lot of people aren't happy with it on social media, but you know, I, it's Destiny. No one's gonna be happy. um, Hopefully, in the future they add new stuff. And I'm holding out hope um, for October 7th. I cannot wait to get my hands on the exotic axe. Um, that is what is driving me to keep playing Destiny right now. Um, I do want to hit 450 and 500 light, but I just really, really, really hope that at the end of, or not even at the end of, but like soon within Ash and Iron, Siva appears, or there's some like massive story thing, because, you know, I guess going into Ash and Iron as a whole, Bungie made it seem like this was going to be something like, um, they made it seem like this was going to be an update like Into the Light. And so far, it's been nothing like Into the Light. Did they add a new event? Yes. Did they add a new mode? Yes. Or I guess not a mode, an activity. Did they add new weapons? Kinda, yeah. However, they could have easily just said, "Hey, we added some new guns to the loot pool. Check it out," and then shadow dropped reclaim, and I don't think anyone would notice. Like, there's no story other than the first mission when you're in the tower. There's no new story. I really hope that later on, um, it it's apparent like what's going on. Like, we notice things. Um, and I will say, Renegades, I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on it. I'm super excited for Renegades. I know it's not going to be Star Wars. It's a Bungie story with Star Wars themed items and villains. However, it's still a Destiny story, and that is, in my opinion, it's going to be my favorite, or not in my opinion, my guess is it's going to be my favorite expansion to date. I'm going to love it. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to love it. If you're a Destiny fan and a Star Wars fan like me, you're going to love it. I just really hope it's good. And I hope that right now it's the top of, like, I guess, I don't even know. I hope this is like the worst it gets, because I I think that in the future, and not even in the far future, in the close future, I think once we hit October, Destiny's gonna get a lot better. Um, you know, with Festival of the Lost, the new exotic mission with the hammer, or not hammer, the battle axe, from the Iron Lords, um, Renegades, you know, all releasing one after another. Like um October 7th is what's its the exotic mission. Then a few weeks after, I don't know the exact date, but like very soon after that mission drops is Festival of the Lost. Then like a month after is Renegades, and then like after Festival of the Lost, I'm guessing Renegades is gonna be like getting more promotion. Like probably we'll see more trailers and more details. We'll get more details, but I just hope this is the worst of it. And this week has been terrible for Bungie. I gotta say, I haven't seen much worse weeks. Like it's it's rough. And I was really hoping that with the release of Iron Banner, it would be like we'd see that things are changing, but nothing really changed with this update. So that's just my opinion. Hopefully, this gives you some insight on the new update. I gotta go to bed. This is gonna come out like at noon or something, 1 p.m. Something like that tomorrow. But um, uh, yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I mentioned that I have some videos that I want to do on the Nintendo stuff. I am gonna get those out. I've been super busy with school and um, helping my family members with some health issues. So I am gonna be getting those out very soon. I just thought that this and then my previous video. If you haven't checked out my previous video, I went over the new news on the God of War Amazon TV show that's gonna come out soon. So, or I guess not soon, in a few years. They haven't started filming yet, but yeah, if you're interested in that, go check that out. I'll leave a link or a card right here. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope that you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.